And good Saturday morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. As we start today, breaking news that is happening here in the state of Mississippi. By now, most people have heard this as an aircraft, which is most likely stolen, is in the air above Tupelo, or at this point to the northwest of Tupelo as we track this morning. A man has threatened to commit suicide. Most likely fuel is getting low at this point, but he's still circling. Let's pull this up where we can go on Flight Tracker and show you exactly where this is at this moment as we flip this on. Here we are. Again, this is Flight Tracker. What he is in a Beechcraft C-90 King Air airplane. Very tough cargo airplane that has been used by many to deliver things. This is one of the smaller planes. At this point, he is flying at 900 feet above the ground. 190 knots is his wind speed. Call letters on the airplane are November 342 Edward Romeo. And if you'll look at this is where he is right now. And he is just circling as we look at this on. Here's Tupelo. This is where he had threatened to fly his plane into the Walmart there. For some suicide reason on the west side of Walmart. That has not happened. He is still, again, this is mostly a rural route as we get into this. Here's Ripley, Mississippi. If you live anywhere in this neighborhood, if you're watching from Hickory Flat, Wilburn, Potts Camp, Mitchell, anywhere in this area, I would seek shelter now and be aware of what's going on. This is just south of the Tennessee line as we look at this. And this guy, again, at some point, will run out of fuel. And it will either go down that way or this man could do the absolute worst of what we're thinking that he could do as we've watched this. And as you see here on the screen, it's just circling and circling. We do not know who it is. Air traffic controller lost communication with the man a little bit ago. Now, and as we look at this, and, of course, it's going to be different altitude. But as you'll see here he is circling. I'm sure this plane here is at a higher altitude as we watch this one. He's still at 900 feet at this point. But that's the closest I've seen a plane come near him. Obviously deranged. And Sheila Ducksworth says she's from there, not far from Walmart area. We've got numerous things as we've watched this. And let's go back over here. We've had pictures of people that were actually on the ground in Tupelo there. As we pull this up and go across here, let's take a look here. Let's look at this. This was sent in just a little bit ago on a post. And let's pull this up where you can see this. This is actual footage of him above Tupelo. Now, that was mighty low, as we can all see there. Just not good to have someone like this. And I noticed that someone told me that the plane was, in the comments, was supposed to take off. Yes, it was. It doesn't stop someone from taking something, does it? So we don't know anything about the man, who he is, what he is. He just stopped all communications with authorities. Let's see here. I was making sure we hadn't gotten any updates on this. All right, let's go back and see what else we're getting on this as we come across here. And this was an updated picture here as we'll look at this. Spring is here, and it's time to quit spending. Oh, wrong button. An updated picture here of the actual plane there just a little bit ago as we posted this morning. We certainly hope this ends in a different way. As we all know, Columbus Air Force Base, not that far from there. I'll let you do the thinking from there of what happens when something becomes a threat to everyone. As we go back here, he's going a little bit further north. Let's look at what Flight Aware is showing us this morning. Here it is right here as he's going further northwest of Ripley. And is he going to circle back? Now, we still got this plane here, and I'm sure that they're aware of what is going on. As we'll look at this, this is headed toward the Faulkner area as we look at this. Now, again, one of the reports that I'd gotten earlier was that fuel was did not have a lot. So at some point, This is going to end either two ways, either him going down or being taken out. And let's certainly hope he doesn't do that third choice of actually following through with what his threats are. We don't know what drives a person to do something like this. And nothing about this is good, but at least this point, it's in the rural route. As you'll notice that as you look at all of this, this is mainly above pine trees at this point. As you look at all your major roads are off. Not saying that there couldn't be a farmhouse or something there that I can't see on radar at this point, but definitely not over a heavily populated area. Now he's coming back due south, back toward the Ripley area. Now, again, if you're watching this and you've got people in that neighborhood, you've got friends, relatives, wake them up and let them know that this is occurring this morning. Things like this sometimes happen, and you're not aware of it. Sleep late on Saturday, so to speak. That's what I'm trying to say. We want everybody to, it looks like we're going to take another turn here and do another loop-de-doop. Guess we can say that. As we look at this, his flight has been varying from anywhere from 900 to 1,400 feet at this point. This airplane's at 1,100 feet, flying at 163 knots. And if you've ever been in an aircraft in that pilot seat up there or in a cockpit on all of that, all right, we're going back north again. It obviously has some serious problems. And again, several planes, and they're way above this. They would probably be at 30 or 40,000 feet is what we would think. That's a Delta Airlines, and if I'm not mistaken, that's going to be a FedEx flight 811. We have another one coming from Baldwin. That's a FedEx 466 plane. That's Southwest Airlines flying south of him. And again, still in the rural route. Let's look and see what other information. I know that some of the major networks at this point have picked up on this story this morning as they've been following this as to see what this gentleman is going to do. We know absolutely nothing about him at this point. He did at one point this morning have contact with air traffic controllers, told him what his intention was, and then broke all radio silence was the last report that I got. All right, now as we look back at this, he's gone due south again. Let's pull this back up. It was rather interesting as you watch this to keep track of where this is and the best way. Definitely going south again. Now, will he turn back and go back north again as he's done in these circles? As you'll see this as he left Tupelo and went up and done these circles. And it does. He's at 1,000 feet at this point. Again, this is a Beechcraft C-90 King Air airplane. A very tough, durable airplane that a lot of people, even military, uses these for operations to go in and out. They take off quick. It's a prop plane. Very powerful, very strong airplanes. We do not have the age of the plane there. A lot of times they will list this of what year model it is. Going back into that same area, now at 1,200 feet is where he's at. 169 knots, as you can see this on the screen if you're watching this. And that's what the plane looks like there. You would think, and this is just all guessing out loud as we discuss this, this person would have to have some type of knowledge to get this plane in the air, number one, and to keep it going. It would have to be someone that has possible access to an airport where they could get in. We have no idea what has made this person snapped. I had someone make a remark that it possibly could be an airport employee and would know exactly what he's doing. Anita, thank you for making that comment. That's very possible what's going on here. And that does explain why they would be able to get in and out rather quickly. If you were an employee or associated, or you're in and out of the airport each day, you would have to have access to those areas to gain easy access to a plane. You can't just walk in and go out and get in a plane. So there's a reason, some way, somehow. And we don't know the exact truth of it. And Matthew, you're right. At some point, Columbus Air Force Base could handle this. If it becomes a major threat, I would think that they possibly would. Jennifer Lott had mentioned maybe someone can talk him down. And it seemed to be that in the beginning, and then the last report that I got from some officials that I knew in the area was he just quit talking to him. He did it first and then just cut off. We'll find out more about this. Let me see what else we've got stirring on this as we look at this. I'm going to keep this in the background as we look at this, other comments that we've gotten on this. Nothing new there as we come across. And I'd had someone, as this started off, I had this sent in. This is one thing that I saved here to pull up to show of, if you haven't seen this yet, this is what we're watching on that flight aware there of where he took off, went east of New Albany, went up, and where he is up in this area now. Just still not backing down with what he's doing. All right, let me go back and see what we've got shaking here, if there's anything new on this. Same pattern, nothing new as we go back to look at this. Now, I would think at some point someone is most likely going to get drone footage up, get a drone somewhere near that. I'm getting remarks here that it is possibly a 28, 29-year-old person. And you're right. I am shocked as well. Christy said shocked that they're letting any planes in that area. And it would, the only reason that would make sense would have to be that the altitudes are so different. Still making those loops. And this is Faulkner, Mississippi. Ashland, Blue Mountain, Hickory Flat, New Haven. Holly Springs is just to the west of there. And as you can see how close this is to the Tennessee-Mississippi line. He's not air miles. It's hardly anywhere as we look across here is what's going on this morning. We are now at 1,200 feet as we watch this. 175 knots, getting a little faster. And I would think the faster it gets, the more fuel this is going to use. And you're right. They will check. I'm sure the airport knows exactly how much fuel is in that plane, and they can go back and check records every time that a plane takes on or off. It's listed in there by the pilot how much is on there, and they can figure average weight, what's on the plane cargo, and tell exactly how long that plane will have left in the air. I'm sure there's a lot on standby here. Now, he is going a little bit further north, and as you'll notice, we've got a Southwest airplane 4446 that is flying again. This is way above him out to the west there. His altitude still at 1,200 feet as we follow that this morning. We haven't seen anything like this in years. This just typically does not happen. For whatever reason, airport security is extremely tight. So that's where we go back to where we were getting the replies of possibly some form of employee to be able to go in and out. And there will be other networks, major networks, joining this as we watch this. Cindy talked about how expensive King Air airplanes are. They are. They are not a cheap airplane. A very good, dependable airplane. Bonnie asked, is the airplane stolen? From what the information that I was given, yes, it was. Do I have that in writing? No. I had that coming from someone, as I've mentioned before. Somebody did give me information that should know what they're talking about. That it was most likely a stolen plane taken as everything was scrambled, and that was about an hour and a half ago that I was told that. Scott Rowe says that this happened 2 years ago in the state of Washington. I didn't know about that one. I'm glad you added that information on there. And this just, as we watch this one circle after another, now he's dropped altitude by 200 feet. We are now flying at 1,100 feet. Whoop. He jumped up. He pulled it up a little bit there, up to 1,300 now, flying at 175 knots. So picking up in airspeed. And and I'm trying to get into the mind of why stay in this general area. Has this person that is circling here picked out a place there to where he would be safe if it runs out of fuel? He knows that he comes down, that he's going to be arrested, so he's making circles, and maybe has spotted a place to where he could land the plane in his mind of it being a safe place to land where he walks away. That's a possibility. Major said that he remembers a Horizon airplane was stolen a few years back. Wow. It's just one loop after another. Not much change in his pattern as we watch all of this morning together. And again, I know that some of you have made the comment that it possibly being an employee getting a roundabout age. I'm sure as we get into this, we're gonna find out more about this. Who is this man? Why is he doing this? Somebody mentioned West Main Street in Tupelo, where that Walmart was, where he threatened. And that brings to mind just a whole different thought of what we're talking about this morning. Why single out the Walmart and say that that's where you're going to crash your plane into? I want to say that it was even said at one point he asked them to evacuate. Was there someone there with a connection? Usually, things of this nature, I can't guarantee it. And this is all just from watching news and covering stories for quite a while of usually a person that does this has someone there, some type of domestic tie-in to a business. Either A, they work there and they're mad at some point in their life, or they've got someone that they've had a relationship that works in a place like this. It's just odd is what I'm saying. Yeah, look at there. My session timed out. Let's see here if we can refresh that. I'm not sure if it'll let me do that or not. It's a possibility. Yeah, here it is back up here. Let's pull this back up. Still doing the same thing as we look at this. So apparently this will let you go for just a little bit and watch this. Kevin Russell says 130,000 people tracking this plane on Flight Tracker, as you can see there. Right there. It is. And I'm glad you pointed that out. I had not noticed that up in that left-hand corner there. As we see that this is a privately owned plane. So whoever is watching this is going, that's my... Of course they've got insurance. You know that. And some of the comments are humorous of someone who's just been out of shape for whatever reason as we look at this. Again, let's look at, where we are on all of this. Here again is the Tennessee line as we look at Ripley, Mississippi, Tupelo, back down this area here. Here's Tupelo right here. Now, he has flown some miles from there. And let me see if I can pull this up on radar. And we do a live guesstimation here of just how many flight miles that is. And let me zoom in on this. Let's pull this up where you can see this as we look at radar. As we come here, let's go up here to Tupelo. Here's Tupelo here. This is about where he is. Let's put on our distance, and this will be air travel here. As we go up here, and this is going to be roughly... Let's just put it in there. Roughly 40 miles is where this man is from his original destination of Tupelo, where he made the threat. Now, again, in air miles, that's zip. If you've ever been in a plane, flown very much, it does not take very long to get back there at all. All right, let's go back over here and take a look at what we've got going on with him now as we pull this back up. Still making the same circles that he was. As we zoom in on this a little bit closer, let's look at this closer of what he's doing here. And there he goes. There's several creeks that we can see here. Here's Highway 419, Antioch Church. There's no rhyme nor reason, is it? Up to 133,000 people have this in the background of their either their phone or computer following this guy. And here he goes. We've got up to 1,400 feet is what we've got, 160 knots. It's one circle after another. And again, as you see this is very rural. That's Highway 409, what he's close to. And again, if you've got anybody that lives in this area that you happen to know them, please call them. Let them know that someone's in the air above. You never know how this could end. It could end very easily. He could land on a road here. No one hurt. Well, let's hope that happens. Alex said possibly trying to run the fuel down before it goes down, and it very well could be. You never know with what's in someone's mind here, what they're attempting to do here. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is Mississippi is where we are. That's Faulkner. And still making these circles there. And again, as we looked at that on radar, roughly 40 miles northwest of Tupelo is where this man is. And let me send, while we're talking, just see if I can get anything that's new. Maybe we can get a something that's different on it. But I truly believed it would. This would be over by now. This has been going on roughly as the first threat, I think, came in right around before 6 a.m., possibly a little bit before 6 a.m., maybe 5:30 was when this originally started, and it just kept going. This guy going a little bit further to the right now as we look at this. Again, our airspeed, he's gotten higher. If you'll notice this, we're at 1,700 feet at this point. Ground speed at 156 knots at this point. I'm double checking here to make sure we hadn't gotten something new. And as I just got an update on this of someone in the area there told me it is absolutely unknown how he is still flying at this point. It was already figured and calculated that the plane was close to being out of fuel earlier. So that tells us that everything that's going on at this point is most likely on reserve as we watch this. And we'll be paying very, very close attention to this. Drew asked, does anyone know the motive? No, it's all a guessing point if this is this reason. We've dropped 100 feet. We're at 1,600 feet. And as we watch this, as we were just making those comments of, this is, you can land, without a doubt. These planes can land on short strips. This is not a huge beach craft. It could land in a field fairly easy. It could use a highway to land. It's not one of these big jumbos. Now, what I want everybody to understand here as we look at this is there is roughly, as we watch this, about a 45-second delay as we watch flight tracker of what's real time in the air. So whatever's going on here, let's just round it off and call it 1 minute. And this is through the systems that track these. Any airplane that you look at on your phone It's roughly 45 seconds to 60-second delay by the time it reaches your phone or your home computer. So I want to make sure everyone is aware of that. That's about as close as you can get. That's as good as it is when it goes to tracking radars. The National Weather Service, by the time it's going to be a little bit of a delay there, 40, 30, 40 seconds. So we're looking at 45 seconds or so. Ground speed at 176 knots as we finish tracking this, or as we continue watching this. Again, the call letters on this, November 342, Edward R, as we look at that, Romeo. November 342, Edward Romeo, as the call letters of the plane. Again, this plane has to be running on fumes at this point. As we watch this, it just goes in and out and dives down at a higher altitude at this point. We're at 1,800 feet now. Yeah, he is making tracks there, and he's going due south now. Let me see if we got... as we see this, that's going back. I thought he was going to... No rhyme, no reason on this. And as we also, we all hope that this truly ends well and no one is hurt. Now, to my knowledge, this person has not been identified. I don't know if anyone who is watching has heard other. I'm limited at this point as to what is coming in. I haven't gotten in a whole lot of information. I'm watching as the texts pour in of possibility of new information on this, but the last we had gotten was possibility of a 28, 29-year-old male with some association to the airport to be able to get in. We don't know why. And if you're just now tuning into this, we don't know why he chose the threat of Walmart in Tupelo to hit the west side of the building. Very specific as to what he was going to do. You know, is this man's plan in the end to fly up here as long as he thinks he can take it? If I am not mistaken, and it's been, and I'm sure that there are some people that are watching that either number one, or a pilot, or number two, have worked on these. If I am not mistaken, in a King Air, does it not tell you how many minutes worth of fuel that you have left? If I am not mistaken, it does. So if you happen to know that knowledge, you got a little bit of airplane knowledge of cockpits and how the avionics work in these, I think it does, but pass along to that so we'll know that. My gut is this guy knows exactly how much time he's got left. And then the next thing that goes through your mind when somebody threatens like this, did they really mean it if they call it in? Do they mean to do it? Or is it a big threat that I could do this, someone wanting attention? Now, I'm not anybody that is a psychiatrist and totally understands why people do this, but those that never call are your scariest. They just go out and do it. They mean business. And Maddie says she does believe that most of the area has been evacuated. I'd gotten notes this morning that I know Tupelo police had brought up that along with the help of the Mississippi Highway Patrol in that area, they were going through the area with microphones, asking people, trying to wake them up to evacuate the area. Very serious, and I would not stay. And you know, you just and I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, and I'm going to try. If I do it wrong, spell it out for me so I can. You've got a very good point. Antoinette Westbrook made the comment that this could be premeditated. If he knows enough about aircraft, could he have gotten more fuel in the plane? That is a strong possibility. This may be the answer as to why this plane has not gone down. Tupelo, as we all know, not a huge airport. If you've got access to it, it's kind of like the Meridian Airport. Maybe you're a worker there. Maybe you do something. You can go in and out. do what you want because people know your face. Or maybe you could even, you go far stretching to saying is maybe it could be a maintenance worker to a degree. You would have access to other things. Now, is there security to get in there? Absolutely. But if you already have access to get to a place, you can do a whole lot more. At this point, at the highest altitude that we've watched in the last little bit, he's at 2,000 feet at this point. How long will this go on? We don't know. Levi, you're absolutely right there. The fuel depends on payload, total weight of the airspeed, altitude, all of that goes into figuring all of this. Mike Moore, very good point there of this is Mississippi. He's not slacking. Again, we're at a new high in altitude as we see 2,300 feet now with this plane, traveling ground speed of 159 knots. As we brought up earlier, wanted to again point out, LaWanda says that Tupelo is saying that it is an airport employee, as we've had several people mention that in the past. So we're 100% right. You were 100% right in making that comment a while ago of what you think, and even more so that this explains why this plane is still in the air, possibly refueled it himself. It is more and more looking like that. Madison says, I missed it where he got up to 2,400 feet just a few seconds ago. I did miss that. I guess I'd looked away there. We're seeing it 1,600 feet at this point. We had somebody ask, has the employee been identified at this point? Does anybody know the name of this gentleman? I have not gotten that. If you happen to know that or seen that somewhere, post that so we can share that with others. Still at 1,600. We're at 183 knots, 175. It's back and forth as we continue watching this. And his flight pattern has just not changed at all. Now, as we back this out, this is a SK. I was looking at, and maybe I'm sure that the others know more about this than I do when it comes to aircraft that's in the air. Military planes, would they even show up on this? My first thought is probably not. I don't know that for sure. Can't hold me to it. And the reason I asked that, would you see that somewhere in here there would be an aircraft from a military base flying, and I just don't see that anywhere. But at the same breath as logical thinking goes in, I very seriously doubt they show any of that to where anybody could track a pilot from an air base. That probably never happens there. Agnes Skelton said that, and I don't know the name, that he apparently, it's a possibility, we don't know for sure, had made comments on his own Facebook page. Somebody knows the name of this. And that possibly he has already said goodbye on his Facebook page, which would mean that this will not end in a good way. A lot of folks are saying that he may just be waiting for them to take action against him. Let's zoom in on this a little bit closer there as we watch this plane circle. Over a few more highways up in this area there. Crossroads Baptist Church, Blackwell Church. This is going to be on County Road. This is Highway 370 is where that is. Seems to stay in these same patterns. But if you'll look at this, there's a few lakes out in here. As we get a little bit closer there, that's the Shelby Creek where he is. Again, still at this point, majority a rural area. This is not like flying over Tupelo or Starkville, anywhere like that. There are areas that this could be handled, so to speak. Altitude now at 1,300 feet. Ground speed at 172 knots is what we've got. Let me see if we got anything new here. Let's back this out. I almost lost a little plane there as it goes back up here. And again, this is back in that area, that Crossroads Baptist Church, as we watch this guy. 1,700 feet is where he is with this. Again, this is a King Air. Going a little bit further north on that loop, as he does fly directly over the Baptist Church. As we do that reminder of this being a few seconds behind of real time, roughly about 45 seconds. All right, here he goes back. Again, we have a plane here. And as Ann Russell pointed out, this guy is most likely after his 15 minutes of fame. We see that a lot. All right, I just had someone point out, scroll up. There's a plane up here somewhere with no call sign. That would be this plane right here. That would be military, most likely. As you watch, that's a good point, and I do appreciate you pointing that out there to us. Thanks, Kevin. Again, there's a no call sign, and that's really not that far from there. This is just into the Tennessee area. As you'll look at that, a no call sign. Here he is here. Let's look at what else we've got flying. It's a bunch of planes in the air. But keeping a watchful eye, that is. Out here, all of these planes are named. I was seeing if we had anything to the south. All right, I just got a text, and I won't say his name because I can't verify that this is the person, but it is saying this was the actual words that were posted to Facebook earlier this morning. It says, "Sorry, everyone. Never actually wanted to hurt anyone. I love my parents and my sister. This isn't your fault. Goodbye." This was posted just a little bit ago to Facebook. I'll see if I can send this and get some research done on this as to who this guy is, so a little bit more information on this. And again, I'm not going to say his name until I know more that this is it. I hate to falsely accuse anyone of anything that I want to be absolutely sure before we say a name. But as we look at that information that was just sent, pretty serious message there that he put out. I got to stand by looking into it. We'll find out more about this if we can confirm who this is. But as we all know, does have parents, does have a sister. Tyler, looking it up on Facebook. Tyler posted the name there as well if you want to follow along as we follow this. And again, as I won't say the name out loud until we're 100% sure on all of this. I hate to say the wrong name and that not be true. But whoever this person is that posted that has the same intentions in mind as we look at this. All right, I am getting confirmation that this is most likely the person, the name that is being given. And again, this is live and could be not 100% accurate as things come about. A guy named Corey Patterson, Patterson. And let me see here. Let me take this screen and see if I can do this real quick where everyone can see. If you'll hang on here just a second. Let me see if I can pull this up to where you'll be able to see what this guy had posted. I'm going to try to open this to where you can see this. So just hang on. I'll be right back on this to pull this up of what was posted. That is not what I was looking for. All right, let me pull this up. And let me pull this over. This is what was posted. I'm going to set this here in front, pull this up where you can see the screen. This is what I'm being told was put on Facebook. Let's show this to everyone. This is the Facebook page. Sorry, everyone. Never actually wanted to hurt anyone. I love my parents and my sister. This isn't your fault. Goodbye. And again, I cannot 100% without a shadow of a doubt say that this is the man, but this is what we are getting, and it looks to be the truth on this. As we follow this along, more information will come on this. All right, let's pull this back up so we can see where he is at this point. All right, let's zoom back in on this. We are still at 1,600 feet. And that without this truly has to be a situation that was brought up, that this man has obviously added more fuel or something. All right, hang on here. I got another note here. And I got another note is what I got about this guy. The Facebook post that he just made again is coming out as this person, Corey Patterson. We did have people that were trying to communicate with him in the plane or wherever he is when he made this post. People telling him that they don't know him, but please come down. And I do not think that this man has any intention of coming down after we see more and more of this. And as we've got numerous reports, it sounds as though this man was some form of an employee. We don't know how serious or what his role was at an airport, but had access. Antoinette, thank you for your remarks. You've been on top of this, keeping up with a lot of this information. As we look to this, knots at 142. At some point, someone would have to make the call of how much longer do we let this go on? Because at some point, there is the risk that others will be hurt by this. Right, let's zoom in on this of what's going on here. Here he comes back at 1,100 feet. Ground speed at 141 knots. It's just one big circle. I would think, and as y'all join in and watch this morning, I would think that this he is. I think this is well plotted out. The more we see here, the longer this goes. This was not jumped in and just ran with it. It looks as though this man may have had time to plan out of, I'm going to add fuel, I'm going to do this. And where is he right now, I was just asked. All right, let's back this out where y'all can see this. This is Ashland. This is Ripley, Mississippi. This is Faulkner. He has stayed in that general area. And if you live in that area, this is just a few miles from the Tennessee line. And let's go here and pull radar back up and show you just where this is. Let me clear this off. Let's distance, and let's pull this up from Ripley to the Tennessee line. Let me pull this up where you can see what I'm doing here. We pull up radar here. That is roughly 20 miles from the Tennessee line as we look at this. That's not far at all as we follow this along this morning. Roughly 40 miles from Tupelo, Mississippi as we continue tracking this. And look at that. It's just one circle after another. 1,200 feet is where he is at this point. 153 knots is what we see. Becky Smith, as she puts her comments there, please pray that no one else is hurt with this. You're right. Allie, replying to Antoinette, he took off at 5:33. He landed at 6:30 and then took off again at 7:30. That's interesting. So this plane has been going for quite some time with the fuel. Lisa wanted to know, is he circling over buildings or homes? It's a rural area that he's at this point. Primarily church, some few churches in the area, some county roads, nothing major there. Where did he take the plane from? The Tupelo airport is where it was taken from. Someone asked, does he have his family with him? Not to my knowledge. The beginning reports that I got on this guy was a loner by himself. No one was with him. Now, if something is updated, and Tyler says by himself as well, that was the last I've been told. Holding steady here at 1,200 feet for quite some time now. Let's zoom back in on this and see of the route that he's on. Well, let's see here. Let's do another reboot here, of a refresh here. We have to do that every few moments as we follow this. And let's pull this back up as it comes back up. There he is there. Hopkins Cemetery Road. I'm sure that we've got a few people from that area watching all of this morning. And seriously, how long will is this the governor's call to end this? Is it a military call? I'm not sure what the actual answer on that. Let's scroll back out and see if we still got this plane flying north of us here with no call letters. Everything seems to have call letters at this point that are in the vicinity. Call signs. Don't let me mispronounce something. I may have said that wrong. I am not seeing anything that as we look around of what's in the sky near him. I'm sure that the air traffic control channel is full of chatter among the pilots of what's going on. Let me see if let me send a note and see if there's any communication that is known between him and the air traffic control. We'll see what answer I get back on that as we try to touch base with a few officials that are from that area in the Tupelo area, watching this very closely. I just got back confirmation that 100% no communication with this man. Now, it is, I'm going to go out on a limb, the last communication has probably been an hour and a half. If you're usually, and y'all have seen this and heard of this and watched this stuff in the news of when they are wanting help or to come down, they do start communicating with people. And we've got a man that for at least an hour and a half now is not answering anything, not replying back to air traffic controllers. So that tells us that this he has other intentions, is what I would go out on. And maybe there's a psychiatrist that is watching people that have studied people like this. Because there are others that probably could analyze this. You've seen them on that come on and they take a little bit of information and they run with it, and they're able to. They have these people that are in the FBI. You have people that work for police departments that are good at their job. They've done this to where they've had the same MOs in the past, and they can tell by a person's movement of what likely they will do. It's never quite known what they will do, but it gives them a good feel of what the situation is. Vanessa wanted to know what is this? This is flight tracker that we're showing here as we track this plane. I got a report there that the FFA would ask for help from the military on 9/11, and they have to wait on White House approval. So I guess this goes all the way to the White House for a decision like this for a plane to be taken down. I wasn't sure if it would be a state level or if it went further, and apparently that would go further then. Wow. We're finding out that the plane was filled for the max distance. It could fly 6.5 hours. Said plane is registered to a possible doctor in the area. Priest says, don't wait on Sleepy Joe. Yeah, someone else would make that decision, as we all know. Jimmy made a comment, which is scary, as a person like this waiting for something else to fill up with more people. As we all know, college football games are getting ready to be played. Could this possibly be in the mind of someone who's doing this? It could. I would certainly hope that before there was a turn made for this, that someone would make an executive decision to handle this quickly. We have a plane here. Again, the flight on this is higher altitude, without a doubt. We have another plane that is entering near. Let's zoom back out and see what else we've got here. It's a Delta plane there. Southwest airplane there to the south here. All identifiable markings on planes in the area. Southwest. Let's look north of this situation now. Planes that are in the air in those areas. Nothing out of the unusual. Olive Branch Airport's in there, and this guy is just not moving from this area over here near Faulkner, Mississippi. still at 1,200 feet. He is loop-de-dooping, isn't he? I do not know the frequency that the air traffic control is on. I do not have that. Maybe someone watching does that. Let me see if we've gotten any new information. No new developments, no new comments on the Facebook page from what I'm getting. Let me see if we can do this. Let me go over here and see if business pages sometimes work a little bit different than the others. Let me see if we can pull up directly the page. I'm not sure that I can. Let's see here if I can see this a little bit better here. I am hang on here. We're getting there. Again, my apologies. This is as live as it gets. And it takes a second to pull up. All right, here's the page of the alleged, let me word it that way. Here's the page. Let me pull this up where you can see who this gentleman is. This is the page that is still up. Studied at Mississippi State University. Went to Tupelo. That is the actual post. It has had 4,700 shares at this point as we look at this. Comments are still going on, but I do not see where he's responding to anyone. As we come down and look at this, it's just one thing after another. And apparently, as we brought out before there, as you'll see that this is from the Tupelo airport, a picture posted there. As we look at tons of pictures from the airport. Knows a little bit about airplanes, it would go to seem. Flown a few places, and we don't know what all is on that page. And again, this is just live of what we're showing here of the possibility of the alleged person that is in this airplane above Mississippi at this point. We'll keep that to the side there to bring back up in a minute to see if there's anything new on it. Let's go back and take a look at the flight pattern of where we are at this point. Gone a little bit further west at this point. We are at 1,100 feet, 148 knots. Has anyone ran the math on this? If you took off, if you had full max on a King Air, and again, this would be guessing. As we look at trying to figure out the availability of fuel, of figuring what goes into a C-90, how much it will hold if it was maxed out. We had 6 hours, someone mentioned earlier, and do we know the exact time that he's been? Done some subtraction of just how much longer this could go. As folks are saying, please land the plane. A C-130 just took off from Memphis, we're being told. Let's zoom in on this a little bit further. And again, still a more westerly turn than we've seen this guy doing in the past. Flying at 900 feet at this point, 142. And let me go back and look at this. I'm not sure upon this gentleman's page if it told about what it said about his age. It says he was originally from Shannon, Mississippi. I was trying to see if it... April 6th, his birthday doesn't give a year. I wanted to be sure of that. And I'm not sure what he is... I was trying to be cautious of what he had posted on Facebook. I didn't want to give away any information that he shouldn't have. But full of airplane pictures as we look at this, as I'm just glancing through all of this. Has 270 friends on Facebook. It's up to 500 and 5,400 shares at this point as we pull this up of what I'm looking. Again, this is the gentleman here. And let's just, let me do this. Let me click on it, make sure it's going to work right and doesn't throw something else. This is the picture that is a profile picture on this profile. A guy named Corey Patterson. This is the alleged person that possibly could be flying the plane out of Tupelo. Let's go back to the flight pattern and see where we are now as we pull on this. Still out to the west as we look at this. We're at 900 feet, no changes. 142 knots. And somebody made a point here, and I don't understand hackers, why they do that. Y'all be careful in these comments. We get people that are up to no good, so to speak, that put viruses for you to click. So don't click on, unless it comes from my page, don't click those links. Well, we don't know what people are up to and why they do that. It's up to no good. I want to give your computer a virus. I don't like that. Do y'all? Now, let's pull. Now, I'm not sure now if you'll notice here, this plane's still moving. So is that this one is not. I'm not really sure what that means at this point. But that plane is not moved as we see that other planes are still moving on the screen. Is this, are we seeing something here? Almost, let's see where this is. Let's zoom in closer here. This plane is not moving. Something, I would almost think that at this point something has gone on here. This is going to be near Friendship Church Road. Right here. This plane has not moved. And I'm sure that someone is watching that has, we've definitely got an issue here. That plane steadily going. This is not. Now, let's zoom back in on this and let's just, with this particular screen, this is all guesswork of what could be in that neighborhood. We're not seeing anything major. This does not mean this is not a satellite view of what is in this area. Now, this could have went down anywhere from 40 to 50, miles from here as they take a nosedive. But it has ceased movement at this point. All right, now someone else is saying that is a possibility that they have stopped tracking the plane. Maybe that's it. You may have a point. It's one or two things. Either they've stopped tracking it or the plane has gone down. We don't know which it is. Let me send a text and see if there's any more mentions of this. All right, I'm going to do this I'm going to hit F5 on this to see if this is anything new that happens. And it is absolutely nothing going on with that plane as we pull this back up. Last calculated at 900 feet. No movement. Now, it could be one or two things. Either they quit tracking it or it is down. I've got folks in the background that are searching to see what's happening. Listen, let me send this. Send another text to someone and see if I get a response on what possibly has happened here. And okay. Y'all see that? Gone. No longer tracking. So we're somewhere here around Ashland there as we looked at that of this plane possibly hitting the ground this morning, or they've just turned it off. I'm thinking the latter is what I'm thinking at this point. Let me check around and see what else I can find out here. Let's see. Let's go to Fox News and see if there's any. See if there's any news of anything that is coming out from Fox News. This is just, and we'll go live here. What's showing on Fox News? This is actually old. That's nothing new there of what Fox News is showing. Let's hang on here and let me see if there's anything that I can find. Everything just still says circling. Again, reconfirming what I'd said about the plane being stolen. Nothing new there. Let me go to one other place. Sometimes this site beats other people on breaking news. All right, I am getting more and more. All right, here is what Daily Mail is telling us. Let's pull this up of what the news is, and we'll just look at this as we wait to confirm what we think has happened. This is Daily Mail reporting as we pull this up. Airport employee, as you well pointed out, and we do appreciate everybody being on this and following and passing along this information. An airport employee there. And there were tons of people that were evacuated on this. As we come down, that was some of the same pictures that we saw there, that C-90 plane. There's video of it, of that King Air circling. And again, if you have been around airports, this would be either one close to it, a C-90. This is not one of the larger ones. These go up to a King Air 350 if you've ever flown one of them. Very durable airplanes. And that is the actual plane there. November 342 Edward Romeo. That's the actual plane that was in the air. Made by Beechcraft. As we see here, the pilot did make contact with 911, was threatening. And again, we don't know why at this point he chose that particular Walmart to threaten of all the places that you could do. Why? And again, we were watching this. Something has definitely happened, gone from radar at this point. As we look at these different pictures here, the Daily Mail is posting here. All right, let's. I got confirmation. The plane is down. 100% has crashed somewhere. We don't know the exact location. I'm asking officials here if it is a thought of whether he crashed or was it taken down. The plane was understood to be owned by Southeast Aviation LLC. Sits up to 9 people. Of course, 2-engine prop plane there. The store closed, and of course, that a big step for Walmart there to evacuate that with a threat like that. Jessica J tells us that there were reports on Twitter that he ran out of fuel. Let me pull up Twitter as we follow this along here, and see what I can come up with this of what is out on. See if there's any information that is circling here. Yeah, that's not what we want. Let's see if I can type it in a different way. All right, we'll just pull this up and we'll just scroll down this of what is being posted. Of course, this being CBS, that was video footage there. Okay, I did get confirmation that the plane did crash. It was not taken down. He did it himself, is what we are finding out. Now, I have not got that in writing. I'm getting this from behind the scenes of people that I know in the area. The plane 100% crashed as we looked at that a few moments ago when we had that live. Wow. What a morning this has turned out to be. Now, the next question that we will get into as we pull this back up, let me go back over here and where we were with all of this morning. This is that area here, north of Tupelo here in this area here, up in this area here that we were watching, out in here, Ripley area. He was all up in here. We'll find out more about this momentarily of what authorities know. As we look at this, this was the last known sighting here that we had before it just really disappeared. And it did. What was that we were looking at before? Not available, any of this information. Plane just totally gone all the way. So apparently this pilot took this down. Now, let me send a text on this. Someone said possibly some others could have been hurt. Let's hope not. Let's see what we find out on that. If there was others involved on that. Now let's go back over. A lot of times updates come in. Let's see what we're getting here. Let me refresh here and see if we're getting anything on any of the news sites. Okay, he is not dead. I am getting reports that this gentleman is being held at gunpoint, alive. Can y'all believe that? So apparently, this man saw a landing strip, took to it, he crashed. I would assume that it is the Mississippi Highway Patrol at this point that has this man at gunpoint. let's see what I'm getting here. Definitely at gunpoint. This is shocking, is it? That you could do this for this long and then crash a plane and then walk away. What are we going to learn about this in the next few hours? And I'm sure, as always, as we watch this, there'll be a major network there. I'm trying to think of... I was trying to think of contacts that I may have in that area. I've got as I'm looking at this, I've got a very grainy picture of and it is a pasture of where this plane has crashed. So as we were describing this just a little bit ago as to what he was doing, he was coming across, saw a place to take the plane in. Let's see what else I've got here. Let's see here. I'm trying to find out where to find that. Let's see. He is in custody now that we are finding. I just got that. In custody. That is great news. Scrambling here. There is video somewhere. I'm trying to get that video as to they're live on the scene at this point. And I'm trying to get where that might be. If y'all hang on here, we may have it here. All right. Hang on here. Let me see what I can do to pull this up. Again, it's live, and I apologize. The way I have to do this is just no other way around it. Just hang on a second here. As I'll try to track this. Trying to locate this. Hang on, and we may have it here in just a second here. Trying to locate. Hang on here. We're close. All right. This is coming in from WTVA. Is what we're getting this, and I'm going to share this. Let me pull up the screen. This is WTVA broadcasting this live as we look at this from a field. Is what we've got there.
Okay, hey, I think you guys can hear me now. The plane is down. It's out here in a field. This is just off of MS.
So that's what we've got. It is down. We do know that. And again, that coming in from WTVA out of the Tupelo area is what we see. So it is definitely down. Let me see whatever remarks. He is in custody, we have learned. And as we look more at that, and I think I can back up on the statement of it being actual crash. I think the plane actually landed as we looked at this picture here in the background there. That's what we're seeing. That's in one piece. And that's why the man has been taken into custody. That is good news. Thankfully, and there were a lot of prayers I know that were sent out on this, that no one was hurt. Some shape, form, or way, this has had a blessing. This man is going to need help. But as we were talking, and again, I am no person that keeps track of or psychiatrist level, but most of the time, and this is just from news stories that I've seen him watch, when someone is serious about really hurting someone, they don't call authorities and tell them. They act first, and then you find all of this stuff out later as we look at this. As we glance back at this over at this screen here, that's where the plane is sitting. And again, that is WTVA that we're seeing there in the background that is live on the screen. Broadcasting there, as you can see, numerous cars. That was a field right off of a highway. And that's where he chose to land the plane. Interesting there. One of the few times probably that you're going to see that no one was hurt in a situation like this. Wow, this has been a morning as we've tracked all of this. I got another text there confirming everyone is safe. He is in the custody of the Mississippi Highway Patrol at this point. You will see tons of aviation's officials. There's going to be answers as to how and what he did with his access at the airport. All of this will be studied as the investigation goes on to this. And from this, I'm sure that there's going to be changes made. And let this be an example. This could have been someone else that had other thoughts. Let me word it that way, that could have done a lot more damage. Y'all remember that day, don't you? Debbie, I know you're watching as you and I covered it back in 2001 of what happened at the World Trade Center. These things happen quickly. And has the United States gotten a little laxed on some areas? It may have been that this has happened back then, and we're starting to see people. Y'all know where I'm going. This could have been an outside party that had other thoughts, is what I'm saying, instead of somebody that was wanting to hurt themselves for whatever reason it was. They could have had been a very bad person there. Boy, have mercy, as we've tracked this all morning. Let's look back at some of these. A lot of people agreeing that they are not authorities on this either, but boy, it is some form of mental illness. Someone asking there if this is going to be tied to, and Lord, I hope not. This has nothing to do with any political background, but if people can tie it to anyone, his political affiliation, we don't know what that might be, and try to blame a political party for it. I certainly hope this story does not turn into that. It is strictly a person that has got some problems that needs to be handled. Antoinette Westbrook, you've been on this since word go there of what's been going on. You called him earlier what he was up to. As we glance up at here, let me see if we've gotten any other messages from the area there. I got another message. Let me see what that is. What y'all don't hear in the background. And I do have a closer up, and I will not be able to get this. And this is what y'all could not hear in the background. Do y'all see that? I have two lovely young ladies that just could not stand it anymore, that wanted in the studio. This one here is Sophie, and then we've got Ellie, the little loudmouth that is new to us. Ellie Mae, come here, little girl. Come here. We're going to let her up here. Come here. Oh, she's not coming, but she's very loud. Well, without a doubt. Cute as a button. And she makes the big dog's life miserable every day. There's not one piece of hair or ear that she hasn't clamped her little teeth on to make her know that she's a part of the family now. And it's nothing like a dog. If you don't have your very own pet, I urge you to get one. They are very friendly, and they pass along a lot of fun. And now they have decided that they no longer want to be in the studio. They are gone now. Eventually, we are going to get to our new studio. We're close. We've got new equipment ordered. Our whole look will be different once we get moved over, and I just have not gotten it all completed. We're close, and I appreciate the patience as we do this every day. Because I know a lot of you, as you'll notice, I will not have anything on the wall that can be bumped or moved in the new studio once we get over there. As we've known over the past 3 years, I've knocked stuff down and everything's been crooked. Looking for more information, let me see what we got here. We'll close out in just a moment as we find out more about this. Confirmation, everything is, and let me adjust what we said. We were live. We did think it, come here, Ellie, that at that point that it was a crash. It ended up being just a simple landing. Yes, let me introduce y'all to, this is Ellie. She's a sweetheart. And she will stay with you so long as you hold her. And if you do anything else, she goes to barking. I don't know. But again, if you have not had a pet, you live alone, and you want someone that will make your days complete and have a lot of fun, get yourself a pup or a kitty cat, whatever it is. There's a lot of pets out there that just need a lot of loving. We appreciate y'all for joining us this morning as we did this. And normally now we go over all of the local news and things that have gone on. I won't hold you on all of that. I do want to bring this up. There was a reporting in the Meridian area, the Meridian, Mississippi area, Lost Gap. We have a prison in our area. There was a death at the prison yesterday, and let me pull that story up before we go. I wanted to pass that along to everyone of what had gone on, and Ellie is gone now. But we did have a death. I tried several times yesterday to get confirmation from the prison about this. And I normally do not write articles like this, but I felt that it was necessary. And let me pull this up here. Here it is. You can visit this at sammedia.network. An inmate is dead. It is from self-inflicted, from what I understand. Transported. I got a tip that someone had passed away, and I contacted the prison officials and asked for the warden. I did not get the warden. I was transferred to someone else, and I asked if basically, I put all of this in the article, if anybody was hurt, was anything going on, and I was told no. They would check, and they did call me back, as I put in the article, and told me that operations were at normal. Nothing had happened. Well, that was not the case. As I checked, as you'll read on in this story, as we got into this, a lot more went on there. The coroner had a body. Allegedly, it was from a hanging. I called back multiple times to the prison, and I could not get an answer. I went to voicemail. I left more and more messages, but confirmed. And again, this is at Lost Gap. And anytime that we have a death at a prison, we share. We get you the information. We try to be as accurately as we can on everything that we cover. And we cover a lot of stories in the area and across the state of Mississippi. The big thing that we watch each day, and y'all know this, is crime. This is happening no matter what part of the state of Mississippi you're watching me from. We are at a level that we've never seen before. Criminals are ruling the streets of our Mississippi towns. It is one shooting after another. It's as if they don't care if they have to answer for anything, and a lot of times they don't. We look at Jackson, Mississippi. How many deaths are we? We've got to be at nearly 100. The last official count that I saw was at 80-something, 82 deaths now. Meridian, Mississippi is at 11 deaths for the year. And this is, I posted this. You don't do this to children. Number one, if you're a criminal, let me show you this. This is Highland Baptist Child Development. It was burglarized in Meridian, Mississippi. Now let's pull this picture up here. This is a daycare. This is a church. This was broken into just the other night, Thursday morning, as a matter of fact. Criminals broke in at around 2 in the morning. They would stay there until nearly 6 a.m. It was a 3-hour period. 2:30, I think, is the actual time. They would leave about 5:30. The cleaning lady would come in. She would be on one haul. They were on another as they stole. Now, these are kids. They stole televisions. They stole tablets that are there to teach children. You know what else they done? Just really aggravates me because there are so many pets that need help. The children had been collecting for the last month dog food, canned food for cats to take to the local animal shelter. They stole every bit of what those kids had gone out and collected. The halls were lined with it. They took every bag. That just burns me up. I hope it does you as well. And my point on all of this is the criminal activity just keeps going and going. Where does it stop? In Meridian, Mississippi, the lack of police officers at an all-time alarming rate, to where just a year and a half ago we had close to 100 that could actually arrest, somewhere between 80 to 100. It could have been 78. It's somewhere between 78 and 100 in that degree. We're down somewhere around 18 to 19 officers that can actually arrest. Is that not scary? I think it is. We see more and more shootings. As a matter of fact, we had some last night. It goes on and on and on. We had 2 fugitives arrested in Neshoba County as I spoke to the Neshoba County Sheriff's Office yesterday. They finally turned themselves in after a 2-week hunt. Here we go. This is the pictures as we go to Neshoba County, Mississippi. Philadelphia is where this is. These 2 people were arrested. They did turn themselves in. They're wanted on numerous charges as we look at this. Kylie Clark and Christy King turned themselves in to the Neshoba County Sheriff's Office at approximately 2 o'clock yesterday. Their warrant stemmed from an August 17th search warrant in the Neshoba community. The search netted over 7 kilos of high-grade marijuana, an indoor marijuana operation, moonshine, felony in possession of firearms, multiple child abuse and neglect charges, and it ended a 16-day hunt for them. Now, I had a lot of people originally going, well, it was just marijuana. It's still against the law. It is. Now, I don't think any Mississippian has anything against someone who needs medical marijuana. Without a doubt, they don't. That's one of the stories that we were working on that came across. Of course, we still have that big situation that's going on in Jackson as we pray for those folks that need water. I hope you'll join us as we do this each and every day. We track news. We go live at 6:30. We go live at 7:30. At 8 o'clock, rather. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Follow us. Find out what's going on in your neighborhood. And we also go live Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. on television. I hope you'll join us with that. We'll be right back as we continue this morning.
On this field, as on the gridiron, each inch is fought for and marked by sweat. Each inch taken through disciplined training. With a Kubota L2501 tackling each inch in the trenches, whether those inches are measured here or here, all adding up to yards. For each yard, Kubota measures victory, and the touchdown is Parrish Tractor. Here, we're much more than a tractor store.
Meridian's favorite barbecue is Squealer's Barbecue, named the barbecue capital for the state of Mississippi. Whether it's barbecue, wings, or burgers, Squealer's simply has the best for a family environment. Every Thursday night, there's live music out on the porch. Takeout orders are welcome, and whether it's your next tailgate or large catering event, your friends at Squealer's are there to help. Drop in for lunch today or a night out on the town. Squealer's Barbecue, the best in fine barbecue.
While we're here, let's do the weather so we'll kind of know what's going to happen today, what's in the plans for us. As we look at this, light showers are expected today. As we look at what the National Weather Service tells us, we do 89 in the Meridian area, 90. As we go north toward Columbus in those areas, about 89 degrees. West will hit 89 over in Vicksburg. To the south, will be 90 there in Hattiesburg. As we look to our east there, we look over to Alabama. Demopolis, y'all look to be 88 today. Hamilton, about 86. Livingston, Alabama, at the university, we're looking at about 89 degrees. The further east you go, a little bit cooler. Auburn at 87. Now, as we look to this, what is happening in the future? This is what's projected over the next 6 to 10 days, and we're going to see temperatures hover in those mid-80s. Not bad. While the rest of the nation, it kind of heats up a little bit more. We've still got that window in Mississippi of being a little bit cooler, and thankful we are. Now, let's look at our 7-day forecast as we pull this up. Expected today, a 60% chance of showers is what we've got on tap for today. Now, this will most likely come this afternoon. After 1 o'clock is what we're banking on for showers for the Meridian area. High of 90 down tonight to about 72, and there is that 60%. Now, as we move into tonight, the forecast calls for a 40% chance of showers, low around 73. By tomorrow, the rain chances will increase to an 80% chance of rain. It's going to happen right after church is over, about 1 o'clock. We move into Monday, more of the same. Rain moves in for Labor Day, 60% chance, and this will happen after 1 o'clock. Now, I don't want you to think that it's going to be an all-day rain affair. You'll still have chances to get out and do everything that you need to do, but with periods of chances of rain. So watch the weather if you're planning an outdoor cooking event, and you still do your things, but just watch that weather closely. Tuesday, more rain. Look at this. Every day this week, a 60% chance of rain. But those highs, look at that. By Thursday and Friday, we're at 81, 82. Now, let's go ahead and go another week into September, take it all the way through the 17th. We're going to see on the 10th, 79. And look at that. That's that little stretch that was coming across Texas where we stay a little bit cooler and not really breaking over 84 degrees all the way through the 17th. Not bad at all, is it? Now, let's look at what's happening here. We got 2 hurricanes now. We pull this up. This is from the National Weather Service, and we've got 69 mile an hour shear winds, and this is only moving at 1 mile an hour. We look down here at Earl. Danielle's just kind of getting along there. This is moving west-northwest at 13 miles an hour, Earl is. Now let's go back to radar and pull this up so you can kind of see what Earl is up to as he makes his way. Let's pull up radar. Let me go back up here and pull up our screen here, and this is what we've got. Let me clear out what we were doing earlier. Distance tool cleared out. And let's go down here and look at this. Here's radar. Let's pull in what we've got here with all of these different storms. This is what we've got as we go to radar. Here's Earl this morning, and it is sitting right now. It has 40 mile an hour winds, gusts of about 52 miles an hour. And as you'll notice, this is not going to affect anything. It's taking a hook now. By Thursday, this is turning back to the northeast. That's good. That stays away. We do have some showers that are coming from this, but it's not bad. Let's go up here and look at her. Danielle, here she sits, and also going to stay away. She is moving at wind speed of 69 miles an hour, gust of about 86, moving west at 1 mile an hour. And as you'll see, this will also take that hook away from land. Couldn't be any better than that, could it? We're thankful. No one's going to get hurt. And the Gulf has been extremely blessed this year. As we look at those timelines, we just showed that live from our radar. Let's find out about fishing. Anybody going fishing today? I think so. It's going to be a pretty good day as we pull this up. Best times today, September the 3rd, you can head on out. Best time's going to be, let's see, this afternoon or second, right at 7 o'clock tonight. 7 till 9 at dark 30 will be the best. What's the wind doing? Make sure to cast those lines right. Southwest wind around 5 miles an hour, becoming calm late in the evening just for that perfect fishing time. All right, that's going to wrap everything up. We've done a lot this morning as we've tracked what has happened in North Mississippi. The plane is down. Someone's been arrested. Thank God no one was hurt. As always, I thank each and every one of you for joining us. We go live with this to give you the latest. And as always, if you've got a tip, inbox us so we can track down to get stories that affect everyone. Thank y'all so much. God bless, and we'll see you back live Monday morning at 6:30 right here, the same time, same place. Thanks for being a part of it. We do appreciate it.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: